Hi, I'm Giney Villar and I'm the executive chef of a restaurant in Taal, Batangas called Felisa Cafe Taverna. Taal, Batangas is about 90 kilometers away from Manila and is one of the most popular places to go to if you're visiting the Philippines. It's a heritage town that houses one of the, if not one of them, but actually the biggest Catholic church in Asia. So for those who do pilgrimages, this might be an interesting place for you to visit. It has also a lot of heritage houses that you can actually visit, private and public museums, as well as a lot of things that you can find in market. Now, one of the things that probably a lot of people don't know about Taal is that it also has Greek cuisine. And compared to the other cuisines in the Philippines, which rely, for example, on the complexity of cooking methods or a lot of the use of a lot of spices, actually Taal cooking is very simple, but it is this simplicity that gives it that that flavor, that uniqueness to all the dishes that we serve. It's something that is a matter of pride that actually a lot of people in Batangas serve this dish that I'm going to demonstrate today, whether it's a special occasion or it's just, you know, your everyday eating. So this dish is called Sinaing na Tulingan. Sinaing is a method of cooking. Some people say that Sinaing is just boiled rice, and that's what we also call it. But if you're in Taal and you ask for Sinaing, they would usually point you out to this dish. Because it's the same method. It's cooked in water or it's a certain stock, for example, and reduced so that you get all the flavors and concentrate that, and that is your Sinaing. So, I want to show you how the tulingan looks like. Okay, this is the tulingan that is used, or in English it's called bullet fish. Okay, what else do we need? We will need some banana leaves, which we will use. I've already cut it in strips. I don't know if you've seen a banana leaf, but this is how it looks like when it's full, when it's still whole. There. It's big. You can use it as a tablecloth, as some Filipinos use it during fiestas, or just use as an umbrella. Okay. So, before you use the banana leaves, you just make sure to run it over an open flame. Just very quickly, you're not supposed to cook it, it's just to make it more pliable. Okay. Now, I don't know if the Batangueños they knew about it, or it's just a newer discovery, but actually banana leaves have antibacterial qualities that help preserve the food. So it's all actually very useful, especially during those days when there was no refrigeration. I also stripped this from the rib of the banana leaf, which we will use as a sort of a string to wrap it around the fish later on. Now, this is something that can be found in most markets in the Philippines, not just in Batangas. It's kamias. We call it kamias or bilimbi, or the tree sorrel. Okay, so this is dried, and you can usually find this fruit being dried out along the roads or in houses on top of their roofs, and you can use this for a long time. And then when it's a long time, it can stay for like a year or two. So if it's properly dried, there, it still has that concentration of flavor. And when you're doing tulingan, I don't suggest that you use fresh kamias. Okay, you have to use this. Okay, now just a little bit of salt. We all know how salt looks like. And patis or fish sauce. Okay, I'm a little scared that I might flip it too much and it might drip. But it's like clear amber sauce of the fish that has been fermented. Okay, you can find this in most groceries. Okay, so that's it. Those are the only things that we need, and of course a bit of water to cook it in. Oh, and finally, we will put a bit of pork fat that has been diced when it's around midway. Usually people do it and put the fat right away at the start, but sometimes it just dissipates into the sauce, and I feel like people still want a bit of fat to get. So even if you cook it midway, because it's fat, it will still be very, very tender. So yeah, that's it. Okay, now some people get concerned about eating tulingan because they say that it's poisonous. It's not, because people have been eating it for the longest time. Maybe some people have had a bad experience when the fish has not been prepared properly. But I'll show you how to prepare it. Okay, so I just got an old pan that I prefer to use rather than a chopping board because all the liquid doesn't get runny and mess up your table. So I just have this old pan that I use for this purpose. So you get the fish, okay, and you flip the gills and you just sort of pull out everything inside. Okay, there. Can get a little messy, a little bloody, but that's fine. That's the thing with tulingan. It's rather bloody compared to the other fish. So yeah, it's all coming out. So it's clean. You can feel it. It's the cavity is now empty. Okay, so that's it. That's about it. So the fish is still whole. You don't have to slit it here or anything. Now, this is the other thing to make sure that all the blood is removed. So you hold the fish, not too hard, gently, and then you twist the tail. Don't be afraid, just keep on twisting it. Okay, and then you pull it. There. See? So there's a bit of flesh that goes with it, but that's fine. And we're just going to rinse this for a while. Let's do the other one again. I've actually taken the liberty of cleaning the rest of the fish that we're going to cook. But I just saved these two so that I can demonstrate to you how to clean the tulingan. So again, you just insert your finger here when you look at that, just like most fishes. Don't really need a knife. Okay, and just pull everything out. There you go. Just being careful so that we take everything out. Okay. There you go. That's it. Okay. Fish is still whole. And then again, grasp it with the other hand and just twist the tail and coax it out. There you go. Easy. Now let me just rinse this quickly and I'll get back to you. And I'll show you how to wrap it in the banana leaves. Okay, so I'm back. I've washed it. When you wash it, you make sure that everything comes out, all the blood comes out, and that the water is already clear when you're done with it. Okay, so I just need to pat the fish a little bit with a bit of paper towel so it's easier to handle, because when things are wet, they're more it's more dangerous, so to speak, or more accidents can happen. So what do you do? So as I said, I have these strips of banana leaves, and all you have to do is just wrap it just over here, part of the head and part of the body. Now, why do we do that? It's because you're going to cook this for about 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours. And that is to make sure that the fish is really tender, and so tender that you can actually eat the bones. So, yeah, then you get this piece of the rib of the banana, and you just tie it around. Okay, So any tray, don't worry too much about it, and don't tie it too hard that it's gonna break the fish. So it's just like a little gift fish here. So that's one. Let's do the other one. So same thing. You get these one of these strips. Just wrap it around so that when it's also cooked, the head doesn't fall off, because that's the tendency. If it gets really, when it's cooked for a long time, the head usually falls off. So I think that's the purpose of it. Nobody told me that, but I think that makes sense, huh? Okay, so again, you just tie it up, on a square knot or a granny knot, whatever you like. Just make sure that it's secure. So that's just a very simple knot, just to show you. I don't have to go fancy. Okay, now this is something that probably, to make your dish really authentic, is that you have to have a clay pot. And all you need to do is to put another piece. I have a bigger piece here of banana leaf. So I'll just put it there in the bottom. Okay, and then here, no tricks, no rabbits. Okay, so now I'm just going to put the fish in. Just layer it in, don't worry too much about it. Now, some people from Batangas actually put a slit here on the side of the fish there. You see that line? They put a slit there and here on the other side to flatten it. Because sometimes they really like press down the fish inside the pot. I don't do that. Okay, I don't do that because it's really more for aesthetics. Because if you're going to cook it for 8 hours anyway, it's going to be tender. They said that it's just to make sure that it gets to the bone. It will get to the bone. Okay, if you cook it for 8 hours or more, and this is a dish that once it's cooked, you can leave it out. You don't have to put it in your ref. You just let it cool outside on top of your range. And then if the liquid gets to reduced, you can add a little bit more water and then reheat it again. The longer it cooks, the better it actually tastes. The other thing that we do in the restaurant is that sometimes we flake the fish once it's cooked, and then we use that for pasta. So you add olive oil, garlic, olives, black olives, little bell pepper if you wish, and then the Tulingan flakes. It's actually very good. You should try it. Okay, so here I'm putting it in. I have the size of the fish that I used is about 5 pieces per kilo. So there are 10 pieces of fish in here. Now, since it's not a lot, I will not layer anymore, because the other technique is that you put one layer of fish, you put the kamias, salt, a bit of fat, pork fat, and then a layer of fish again salt, kamias, and pork fat. But since I only have 2 layers, so I'll just put everything on top. Because I also like the kamias once it's done, I kind of want it to be on top so I can find it easily, because this is not something that you need to stir. You just put everything in, your salt. Start off with probably a half tablespoon for this, because you're still going to put in your patis, which is also salty. And then we just put just enough water to cover the fish, and then we're going to put it on the oven, put it on the range and let it cook. And then I'll come back to you after 8 hours and we're gonna check our tulingan. Okay? So I'll see you after 8 hours. Hi, you're here. So, as promised yesterday, I'm here to show you our finished product. Our Sinaing na tulingan, and a traditional dish of Taal, Batangas. So, Um, I'd like to answer a few questions first before we proceed, before I show you the finished product. Um, some people have asked me before at our restaurant if it's possible not to add the pork. Of course, especially if you don't eat pork, it's okay. But because the bullet tuna, the tulingan, is a very muscular fish, it can be quite dry. So I think that's the reason why a bit of pork is put there to, make the dish a little bit richer. What you can do is to use coconut cream if you wish to cook it first in thin coconut milk, and then later on as it cooks, then you can add the coconut cream. The reason for that is because if you just add coconut cream from the start, it'll turn into coconut oil, and it's going to fry your fish quickly, and you won't get any of that reduced sauce that is what makes this dish also spectacular. Okay. Some people have asked, can you put finger chilies or other types of chilies? Of course, it all depends on how you prefer your dish. So you might want to start off with the basics first, and then add your own to it. After all, that is what Filipino cooking is about. It's about who eats it. It's not like French cooking where the arbiter is the French chef, and you're not supposed to tamper with it and enjoy it as he envisioned it. In Filipino cooking, it's more democratic. So if you want to add a little bit more of this or that, then feel free to do so. It's all about your enjoyment. Okay? So as I said yesterday, when we put the pot at the 4-hour mark, I put some diced pork and then covered it again and just cooked for the rest of the 4 hours, remaining 4 hours. I left it in the pot so there is still ambient heat to cook it some more. So aside from the 8 hours, technically it cooked for a little bit more. And then this morning, before presenting it to you, I of course reheated it again for about an hour. So probably that it cooked for about, say, 10 hours total. But it's worth it. The nice thing about it is that you also don't have to worry about it. As you saw in my demonstration, it's really very simple. You just, put everything in. You can even ask your fishmonger to clean the fish for you, so that when you get home, all you have to do is layer your fish. Of course, wrap the banana leaf around the head so it doesn't fall off. So you can, when you present it, it will still look nice and special. And then just put everything in, leave it, make sure it's a slow fire so you don't burn your fish and your pot, so you can use it again and again. Okay, so with no further ado, let's check on our fish. So that's our pot. Okay, so let's remove, this is our plate. Let's just remove that table napkin because that's just how we are in Batangas, we're fancy that way. Okay, and I have this small condiment dish. This is for the patis. What patis am I talking about? We already put patis here, right? But as the fish cooks, it secretes, of course, its juices and its flavors. And when you buy tulingan, Sinaing na tulingan in Batangas, they usually give you a small plastic container containing the patis, which you are supposed to pour on your rice, because no proper Filipino dish is complete without hot steaming rice. Okay, so that's what the condiment dish is for. Okay, let's remove the pot. And let me get your plate so I can serve you. Okay, I think I need to... There we go. Should still be firm. Okay, with the head on. Okay. Let's just remove this bit. Put it there. Of course, I want to give you some of that pork. Very, very tender pork. And where's our kamias? There you go. People fight over the kamias. So there, I'm gonna give you your share. Here's another one. So even if when I put it on top, still kind of moves around when it cooks. So that's our Sinaing na Tulingan. Oops. How about that? So how do you serve this? Okay, let's put it there. Of course, you cannot eat the banana leaf. You have to remove it. It's just part of the presentation. Okay, I made here a little fresh salad. There's no dressing really in it. It's just to cleanse your palate because the umami is really strong. So what did I put in here? Just some chopped tomatoes, onion, a little cucumber. I chose a mango that isn't completely ripe, so there's still a bit of tartness and acidity in it. And some fresh coriander leaves that I just coarsely chopped. So that's going to go very nicely with your tulingan. So let's put a little bit on the side of your plate. Okay. Make sure you have a bit of the mango. There you go. Okay. And of course, rice. How can you not have rice? So I'm just gonna put a little bit on it. And here is your nice plate of tulingan. There we go. How's that? So you can eat this for lunch or breakfast. And some Batangueños, if you want to go full Batangueño, you can actually pour some of that famous Barako coffee over your rice. That's a bit of your patis. So it really looks just like patis. It's a clear amber color. Okay, so if you want to put that on your rice, that works as well. So I hope you enjoy this. Just to tide you over until we finally see each other again in Batangas, where there's so much to see, so much to experience, whether you're into sports or, as I said, going on pilgrimages or just to soak in nature and buy some fantastic products, the coffee, the cocoa, the tablea, the panucha, which is a peanut brittle in Taal, the dishes like Sinaing na Tulingan, bulanglang, and a whole lot of things. Tapang Taal. So I hope you try that, and as well as the seasonal fruits that grow in the vast farms of Batangas. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Enjoy!